Hello, and thank you for listening to the podcast of Holy Cross Lutheran Church. We wish you today a blessed Good Friday. If you do not currently have a congregation, we would love for you to come and join us. This Holy Week, we have services today, Good Friday, at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., and on Easter Sunday, 6:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. Our normal Sunday service times are 8 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., with Bible study and fellowship in between. But as I mentioned, today is Good Friday. And when it comes to the cross of Jesus, there's always controversy. In fact, today we see crucifixes coming down at an alarming rate, and not just in government buildings and hospitals and other secular places, but even in churches. Why is the cross of Jesus always offensive? I mean, we've heard so much about it, and it's been so long. How could it still be causing scandal? Well, that answer is filled with ironies. We want to be free to pursue our sin, and we do not want to remember its cost. We do not want to see that this is what our own attempts at self-righteousness get us. We only want Jesus to get out of the way. We want to be independent from God, even if it kills us. And those who are supposed to know the Scriptures best and have the clearest idea of who the Messiah was, have rejected him. And yet Isaiah says that foreigners and distant kings would believe him. Those who have never heard of the Messiah before would believe in him. And these are just some of the ironies that come from the offensive nature of the cross. Martin Luther says it like this, that the cross of Jesus, his dying in our place, is, and I quote, the supreme and chief article of faith, that our sins placed on Christ are not ours. Again, that the peace is not Christ's, but ours. The whole world can put up with every sectarian teaching and even support it in peace, but it cannot bear this faith and the rejection of all works and merits, because self-glory is brought to naught, and the world likes to hear its own glory. It is not willing to reject its own. By this text, we have cast down every foreign righteousness and hypocrisy. Therefore, write this text on the foundation in golden letters or in your own blood. That is why he says, all we, and no one is accepted. End quote. So the cross is full of ironies. And when we think about how God works, his condemnation as a criminal was the ceremony where he was enthroned as our king. The shepherd who gathers his scattered flock gathers them by being penned in place to the wood on the cross. Above his head was supposed to be the charge that made him a criminal, but it actually declared who he is. Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. I-N-R, irony. Isaiah 53 points out other ironies. By his wounds we are healed. Verse 6 points out that we are scattered sheep, but verse 7 says that Jesus, our suffering servant, is the Lamb. And yet we see through all the irony that it is him. It is he, Jesus, who is the Messiah. Though no one imagined or hoped that the Messiah would do his saving work this way, the cross confirms it is him. And so Isaiah 53 ends like this. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring, he shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Because he poured out his soul to death, and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many, and makes intercession for the transgressors. He who is numbered with the transgressors makes intercession for us. Ironic but true. Out of his death we gain life. Out of the poverty he experienced in his suffering, we gain a rich inheritance. All because the innocent one went all the way, with our sins. He went to where our sins would lead us, but he went ahead into death to pay the price of bringing us back. I hope this devotion is helpful to you on this Good Friday. And once again, if you do not currently have a church home, we would love to see you come and worship with us. I'm Pastor Zach, by the way. I don't think I said that at the beginning of this podcast, but I'm Pastor Zach, the pastor here at Holy Cross. If you'd like to find out more about our church, our website is holy-cross.church, holy-cross.church. God's blessings to you.